Samira. Happy birthday. Yes, I'm glad you can drink today. At the age that you could have a glass of wine. That's awesome. So today, we are, let's see. Yeah. I give you a bond. The great. Okay, awesome. Yeah, we want your feedback. We always want to be providing the quality education that you desire. So please fill those out. Give us that feedback so we can bring the education that you desire. All right, so let's kick off today. Do we know what the company's vision is? What's our vision for Keller Williams, Antelope Valley? Yeah, so to be the real estate company of choice for our agents and their I always like to slip in just like Claire to be the number one real estate company of choice for our agents and their clients. Now, how do we get to that vision? Through our mission, right? Yes? I lost you somewhere along the way. Let's go back to the beginning. The vision is where we as a company are what? Say it loud and proud. Where we're headed, where we're going, the destination. And what is that? Say it together. 1, 2, 3, go. Okay, so we're not going to probably win any awards like for the choir of the year or anything, but we got it out, right? Okay, and then how do we get there? We get there through our mission statement, right? And our mission is to build careers worth having, businesses worth owning. If you know it, say it with me. Lives worth living, experiences worth having, and legacies worth leaving. One more time, Scott. Build careers worth having, businesses worth owning, lives worth living, experiences worth giving, and legacies worth leaving. Woo! Yes. Is it possible to have a career worth having and a business worth owning and a life not worth living?
Yes.
It is possible, right? What could that look like?
You could be AFP.
We won't say that on the video because we are recording. But so you could have $1 million real estate business. Do a lot of us, most of us, aspire to that?
Yes.
Okay, 3 of us aspire to that. Great. Okay, so for the 3 of us, we could have $1 million real estate business, and we could work 7 days a week, and we could have 2 years in reserves and all these investment opportunities, right? And then no time for our family, and be right now. Is that a life worth living? But you've got a business worth owning, and you have a career worth having, right? So the idea is all of this to have a well-balanced life. We want it all, yeah? Right? Legacies is not about money. You know this, right? Legacy is not about money at all. What's it about? Amy.
It's about what you leave in people.
It's about what you leave in people. So if you're spending all of your time working and not having the experiences, then that means you're not really having a life worth living, right? We want to create at Keller Williams a full balance of all of this. And by doing this, that will lead us to our vision of being the #1 real estate company of choice for our agents and their clients. If you got it, say aye.
Aye.
All right, so now our values: God, family, and then? And in that order. Now we're going to look at our Y4C2Ts. How many of you can say Y4C2Ts really fast? I love it. I love it. I love it. I love it. Okay, so today we're going to talk a little bit. We're going to spend like 3.5 or 4 minutes on win-win or no deal. Do I have your permission for that? I have a short little video that's going to explain this to us.
Habit 4. Think win-win. I always thought that I understood the concept of thinking win-win. And I also thought that I was using it. It is an easy one, right? Wrong. And I will show you why in a second. Now I know that I was wrong all my life. I always thought if I get the same amount as the other person, then that's win-win, isn't it? My concept of win-win was 50-50 or no deal, because 70-30 is not win-win, or is it? There's an awesome experiment that shows what's the problem with our human mind and the concept of win-win. They put two people in a room, person A and person B. Both had never met the other person before. They gave person A $100 and said to him, you have to split the $100 between you two. And you alone decide how much you want to keep for yourself and how much you are willing to give to person B. But they also said to person A that there is a catch. And the catch is that person B then decides if it is a deal and both of you get the money, or that there is no deal at all and neither person A nor person B get any money. So in short, person A have to split $100 and person B then decides if they do it the way person A suggests or if nobody gets any money. So what would you do if you were person A? Would you split it fair so that you and the other person get $50 each? Or would you split it 80-20 or else and risk that person B decides that nobody gets any money? They did it with many people, and the test results showed that somewhere around the 70-30 mark, person B decided that there is no deal at all and nobody gets any money. The logic behind of the thinking of person B is that it is an unfair deal. If the other person gets 70 and they only get 30, that's not win-win. But here's the thing, and I got this wrong all my life, like most people. Even if the other person gets $99 and you get only $1, you should take it. It is a win-win situation. Everyone gets free money even if it is only $1. But people don't take the free money if a total stranger gets more than they get. But that's stupid. That is the exact opposite of win-win. This is lose-lose thinking. We are stupid creatures, aren't we? This is because these decisions don't come naturally to us humans. Our inner chimp wants to get more than the other person and rather gets nothing, even if it is free money, if otherwise we would have to see the other person getting more. In these situations, we have to do some effort to overcome our inner chimp. When we can get something, learn something, win something in life, we should take it, even if someone else gets a bigger share. Thinking win-win is not about us alone. It is also about seeing another person winning and growing. So learn to overcome your inner chimp and start thinking win-win. This was my video on habit 4, think win-win. Click here to watch my video on habit 5, seek first to understand, then to be understood.
All right. Shed any new light on the concept of win-win?
Take free money.
Take free money. Anything else? What are your ahas around this?
We do it all the time.
We do it all the time. Which part, Steve?
Commission.
Commission.
Yeah, I get 6%, you get 4.
Yeah.
You get 2.
You get 2 and I get 4.
4.
Right? Do we gripe and complain that the listing agent got 4 and we only got 2? You know, what's really interesting to me is on referrals. I see this all the time on referrals. How many of you are thinking about and asking the question, if Wendell sends me a referral and I service that client and then another referral is generated from Wendell's referral, I shouldn't have to pay Wendell that second referral. Anybody think like that? By the way, I've heard agents talk like this all the time. Well, I'm the one who serviced the client, so therefore that client is now mine and I don't owe Wendell a referral fee. Is that a win-win? Is Wendell ever going to trust me with another referral? Why would he? He could just go to someone else who's willing to honor the relationship, the referral relationship. Yes? Right? So we could be greedy and limit the amount of income and the amount of revenue and the amount of blessing that we receive. Or we can think in abundance and think the more that Wendell sends me and the more that I share with Wendell and the more I build up Wendell, the more that he's going to send me and the more of a win-win relationship that we have, right? That referral is money I didn't have. That's a client I didn't have. And now I do. And yes, I did a bang-up job. I did great, and they're going to send me more people, all as a result of Wendell sharing with me. That's a win-win. Yes or yes? Yes. Awesome.
Recording
Our purpose.
in progress.
Do we know what our purpose is? To be the place where entrepreneurs thrive. Here's the deal. I've got a cheat up. I've got it on the screen, and I'm pointing to it. So what's KW's purpose? That's right. All right, it's time to play. The Price is Right. The Price is Right. All right, are you going to do it for us? Ladies and gentlemen, welcome Aaron.
Thank you for joining us today. Oh, is this thing on? It's on. Hi. Okay, so this is my first time not being Vanna White, but this is my first time actually being, oh wait, that's the wrong one. Bob Barker, and what's the new guy? Drew Carey, right? I guess he's not so new anymore. So all right, well, just bear with me, please. So the Price is Right. So everybody here, do you know how it works? Yeah, so I'm going to show you a property, and you guys are going to guess what the sale price is. Not list price, but sale price, right? What it sold for? All right. Not $1 over. So the closest person to the actual sale price without going over wins. What do they win? Yeah. Okay, you ready? Is this suspense killing you? I'm just kidding. All right, we've got West Palmdale, 4 bedrooms, 3 bath, built in 1986, 1,746 square feet, and 14,374 square foot lot. How much? You guys got it in your $5.99? All right, let's see the inside. Oh, ready? Did that? Oh, there we go. Ooh. All right. Ooh. Ah. Oh, it's got a pool. It's got a pool and a spa. That was it? Okay, thank you. All right. Everybody got it in? Locked in? 5 seconds? 10 seconds? No? All right.
$1.
5, is that 526? 5, all right. Countdown, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Get it locked in. 560.
549.
All right. 560. Yay. All right. And the winner is
James Ellis.
James Ellis, everyone. All right, we ready for the next one? All right, Little Rock, 3 bedrooms, 2 bath, built in 1992, 2,176 square feet, 39,639.6 square foot lot. Ooh, 0.6. Don't forget about that little part right there. Okay.
No,
Let's see. That's pretty on the outside.
Okay.
Ooh.
There's a chair on the other side.
Ah.
You can go right down that.
One more? Do we have one more? Oh. Ooh. All right. Everybody got their numbers in? What do we think? What do we think on this one? We got 547, 450, 680. What is yours? I can't see. 450. All right. Yeah, I do. All right. Everybody locked in? We ready? We ready? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 625. 625. All right. Yay.
Way off.
And the winner is the birthday girl. Samira. Happy birthday, Samira. Cool. All right, that's it. 625, just one. Okay, one more. All right, you guys ready for the last one? Who's gonna win this one? Oh, there we go. West Lancaster, 5 bedrooms, 3 bath, built in 1996. When I was born. No, I'm just kidding. That's when I graduated high school, actually. 2,481 square feet, 11,325.6 square foot lot. Ooh. Ah. Oh, I like the umbrella. Who said that? Uh-oh. There we go. Did it come back? Okay, ready? For the next one. Ooh! That one's new. And it has a little basketball. Where was this one? This was West Lancaster, yeah. All right. Let me see. All right. Actual retail price. Ready? Everybody locked in? Locked in? 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. 660. Who's 660? What do you 655? Oh! She knows the price is right over there. Is that our winner? You get it? Oh, yeah. Oh, but Amy got new ones. Oh, okay, gotcha. Oh, you brought 3? All right, thank you. You can have that to say. And the winner is?
Annabelle Chirino.
She went to go get her card.
Let's give it up for
Yay!
On Track Expo.
Nice.
Woo!
And what's our motto? On track on the contract.
On track on the contract. I love that motto. I love that motto. Hey, so what's the reason that we play Price is Right?
I'm turning off the.
Are they checking
We
Zoom?
had one on Zoom as well. We had one on Zoom for the second one for Shelly Gray. So 625. Yeah. We'll make sure it goes in the mailbox.
Are we getting
so
ready to
we're good.
explode? What's the? We're gonna blow up? What's happening?
Oh, it's the somebody's talking on Zoom. Let me.
Well, so hey, what's the reason that we play Price is Right? To see what? To see if you can be experts? We play Price is Right to see if we know the market, right? So Dimmery, how'd that work for you today?
You know what? Hey.
Yeah, maybe we need to meet for a little consultation, right? Yeah. So are you paying attention to your market? If I asked you today, what's the average sales price in the Antelope Valley to date? What is it? I've got like 5 numbers going on right now. Right? Okay, so let me ask you, are you throwing out a number or did you actually check to see what the average sales price is today? It's $530,000. So those of you that are throwing out 470 and 480, probably when was that? Right? So is that part of your routine? Are you checking the new properties that come on the market every day? Are you looking to see what's pending? Are you looking to see what's closed? Do you have your thumb on the pulse of the market? Are we experts in this business or not?
Yes, we are.
Scott is great. Are we experts in this business?
Yes, we are.
Okay, then let's do it, right? Let's act like it. Check every day. Check the MLS, know your market. You guys know what the average days on market is? So I got a 38, I got a 47, I got a 30. Are we guessing or do you know? You know what? I think every week after the price is right, I'm going to ask you about market and you're going to tell me. How about that? That's a little bit of accountability. That every week you're going to know your market because I'm going to ask you. Is that fair enough? Yeah. Awesome. All right, so I want to tell you about family reunion that's coming up in February, right? By the way, this is the greatest weekend in the whole year. Do you know what happens on this weekend right here? My son turns 18. Right? This is the best weekend ever, right? But we're going to be at family reunion, and he's going to be with me. Right? We can't gamble, but that's okay. There's other things to do. Right? Who's going to join me in family reunion? All right. The four of us are going to have a blast. No. Here's the thing. Right now, there's an early bird special. You get $100 off through the end of the month. Did you hear me? Through the end of the month, you get $100 off. So $8.99 through the end of the month. In October, by the way, the middle of October, it's going to go up. So you want to get your tickets. It's $9.99, $100 off by the end of the month, gives it to you for $8.99. Okay? Now, you ready for this? Iman and I put our heads together, and we're feeling loose. We're feeling like we want to have fun, right? So we're gonna have a contest for the third quarter, and we're gonna give away one free trip to family reunion.
Blank has been for the second one.
That flopped. I don't understand.
You should be more excited.
You should be excited about going to family reunion in the first place. What's the value of going to family reunion?
You get to know the best in the industry from our company. It's priceless.
It is priceless, actually. Yeah, the amount of value that we receive and the education. You know what we're going to do, probably, now that I know this, is we're probably going to have a panel of family reunion folks who've been, right, and had a great experience come and talk to you about it. But I want you to be looking at the upcoming weeks as we announce the contest that now I'm not even sure we're going to have because you're not very excited about it.
So let's try this again.
Okay.
Okay, one more try.
Okay. Maybe if you say it.
It's hard for me to give money away, and I am doing that.
Yeah.
Because I might change my mind. So,
And you're the best pants today.
there you go. Go with the package, but seriously, it's not only about the $8.99, it's about the investment you are investing in yourself, and it is priceless. So you should be there, even if we're not giving you one for free. So please, make an investment in yourself, and I will help you by saving money for you through your transactions. By the time family reunion comes, you have the honesty. So if there is a will, there is a way. We're making it simple for you.
So every transaction we can save?
You can ask me to take away $100 and save it for you, or 50, or whatever you decide. And by the time family reunion comes, we have the money.
Or we can pay it down full, right?
It's up to you. I'm just giving you the option that we are, as an office, helping you with that. We really want you there because we know the value.
Awesome. Thank you, Iman. Thank you. Right? By the way, is that a win-win?
Yes.
You're getting, somebody said, that's it? You're only going to give one? Somebody said, that's it? You're only going to give one? After we just got done watching the video about a win-win or no deal?
It's free.
It's free. Accept it.
Hey, it's free
Right?
for one winner.
So everybody understands that Monday we're actually going to have a career night. Monday the 19th at 6 o'clock right here, and we're actually going to give away a tuition. George, Sylvia, and I are going to give away a tuition. The flyer is in your inbox. A flyer is on social media. Roy has a flyer at the front desk, and the person must bring the flyer with them either physically the flyer or a picture of the flyer, it will do, on Monday night at 6 o'clock, and we'll be giving away one tuition. Yes, only one tuition. Yes, we're going to give away a tuition, all right? So this is an opportunity for you to build your profit share trees. Guess what day is coming up next week? Profit share day. Right? So Monday is your opportunity to build that at 6 o'clock right here in this building. Ignite is coming the day after Labor Day, September the 3rd. So be on the lookout. Make sure that you tell Roy or Victoria or Armando, or you can scan the QR code because we're in 2024 and you don't have to tell anybody. You can just go to the website now. Right? You can tell that I'm not 30 anymore. I know I look like I'm in my 30s. I get it. And yet, I made them. Okay, anyway, QR code for Ignite. Next Thursday, In-N-Out Burger Truck. Right, In-N-Out Burger Truck. And we're going to celebrate your accomplishments for quarter 2. So make sure that you attend that. Coffee with a Capper next Wednesday with Christine Leister. Yeah, right? Okay. Come and hear. Christine's going to share all her story with you, and it's going to be awesome. If you need ethics, and I know many of us do, I'm just kidding. We need ethics course. Next, is it Wednesday? Or no, it's Thursday at 10 o'clock before the office meeting. If you need an ethics course, you can take that next Thursday at 10 o'clock right before the office meeting. Right before the In-N-Out Burger deal. Okay, so to wrap it all up for Culture Week, we have Monday, Money Monday. You guys are hot. Money Monday. Money Monday with Jason Portillo on the 7 baby steps to financial freedom. Then we have Tech Tuesday with Nico and Armando teaching tools for a buyer presentation and customizing your agent's site. We also have on Wisdom Wednesday, NAR scripts with JD. Make sure that you're attending that. We all need those scripts. Yeah. You have followed by Coffee with a Capper. And then Crystal's going to be going over Command Compliance Cloud. And then we'll be having Contracts class next Wednesday at 1 o'clock. And I'm actually going to be joined by the one and only Marvin McKinnon next Wednesday with a CAR update. All right. And then we have Thursday, we have the second quarter awards. And then on Friday, we're going to all take a field trip. All right. So what we're going to do today is we're going to go over a little bit of the MLSA, and I'm going to do a Q&A, okay, around these contracts, because I know you all have such questions. We've been spending the time going over all of these forms for the last 3 weeks, and I know that and I'm getting a lot of questions, so today I'm going to spend a little bit of time on the MLSA, and then you can ask all the questions that you have. Iman. We didn't mention the Cappers party. I hope you guys have a pen and you're writing this.
And we will email you though. September 26th, Steve and Alicia are hosting our Cappers party. So
Nice. Thank you. Thank you.
Happy to be in your house. And that's fine. September 26th, and you will have that email today. Okay, thank you.
Thank you, Iman. And don't forget that today, right after this, is the luncheon. I can't give one to you. I'd have to charge you $100. Okay. We'll put it on your bill. Will you pass that back, please? Of course you can have one. Anybody else need one? All right, put it on. Okay, Wendell, your bill's getting up there, buddy. All right. Demery. All right. Holly, you good? No? Okay. You need one? You got one. You're good. Jaime. Bruh, come on now. Rose, you got to have one. All right. Oh, my heavens. All right. What's going on? Ray.
Thank you.
I hope Amon's keeping track of all the bills we got to send out. Okay, there you go. I only got one left. Just kidding, I have another one. Okay, so the MLSA is an MLS addendum. The MLS addendum, there's more? Oh, people in the hallway, standing room only. Okay. Steve Burton wants one. All right, Brendan wants one. All right, hopefully we have time for the meeting. Okay, here we go. Okay, all right. So the MLS addendum, this is going to be attached to any of your listing agreements. Yesterday we went over the listing agreement. We will continue to go over the listing agreement and the buyer broker agreement each week until we've all got this down. Okay, so this addendum is going to be explaining, I'm just going to do an overview and then you can ask questions. This addendum is going to be explaining to your client what is the MLS, what are the benefits of having the home in the MLS, and it's also going to be talking about clear cooperation policies regarding the MLS. So on this issue, there needs to be some clarity. What is clear cooperation? Something that probably is going to go away soon. But for right now, what is clear cooperation? Thank you for saying that, Claire. Clara said sharing of commission, and that unfortunately is not what clear cooperation is, but I do believe that that's what most of us think of. When we think of clear cooperation, we think of compensation. Compensation has nothing to do with cooperation. Clear cooperation means we are cooperating with one another for the same goal. And in this case, what's the goal? Make a buyer and a seller happy. Right? A win-win or no deal, right? We're going to create win-win deals for a seller and a buyer. That's what clear cooperation is. And we're going to utilize what tool to have clear cooperation? The multiple listing service, the MLS, right? So we have the MLS as our tool for clear cooperation, which is not tied with compensation. Do we have cooperating broker compensation anymore? No, it does not exist. We are not sharing our commission anymore. We're not cooperating as it relates to compensation anymore. The buyer can pay their buyer broker, and the seller can pay their listing broker, and the seller can pay the buyer broker to bring an offer. All those things are still true, and they're still legal, and they're still okay. But each side is going to negotiate that separately and individually. So I meet with a buyer, I'm going to have the conversation using the BRBC and have the discussion around the compensation due to the buyer broker. The listing broker, I'm going to meet with the seller and I'm going to have a conversation about representing them and how I'm going to be compensated by them to represent them. Yes? We have that clear? Okay. Now, if the buyer wishes to ask the seller to pay to pay their broker, they can do so in their offer. That's pretty much it. As long as you can keep that foundational principle, I think you'll be okay. Just realize both are now separate. It's not about cooperation. Cooperation is sharing the information with one another for a common goal, which is to create a win-win for the buyer and the seller. It's not about money necessarily, right? Are you good with that?
Yes.
Okay. So the MLSA is basically explaining what all of this is to our sellers, so they understand what they're signing up for. Now, there's a couple things on page 2 that I want to bring your attention to. Let's say that the seller at the very top of page 2 under 3F, let's say that the seller says, I don't want to cooperate. I don't want to cooperate. Then you would check that box. And that would mean it's 3F. That would mean that you would be working on behalf of the seller only. Yes? And you could then advertise and market that property anywhere you want except for the MLS. Okay? Now, I don't know why anybody would want to do that. Right?
Let's just say.
Nobody would want to do that. Right. That would be silly of anybody. But that's what that means. Okay? If your seller wants to do that, then I want you to encourage and coach them into why that is a bad idea. Are you comfortable with why that is a bad idea?
Drew, why would it be a good idea?
What's the benefit?
What's the benefit? Why is that even?
To explain to somebody.
I went on a listing appointment one time with Jeff and Kim. I probably shouldn't say their names. With some people who owned a local business. And those people knew several realtors, but we went to church together and we were sort of friends. And in fact, we were in the same married couples class, and they listed their home with me, but they were very concerned about a couple of other realtors knowing that their property was on the market with me. So they wanted me to represent both the buyer and the seller, and they were willing to pay me a full 6% commission. They wanted me to get the whole deal, and they didn't really want it to be advertised and out in the world. Now, I was able to talk them into all the reasons why they should, and we ended up putting it on the MLS. And I helped them come up with a script on what they're going to say to the other realtors and why and all of that. And we did what was right for them. I ended up representing both sides anyway. Amy.
Also for businesses.
And for a business.
It's very common for businesses not to want to be put on the MLS or commercial properties.
Yeah, right. So you might have a business owner, or you might represent a lender or an escrow officer that maybe doesn't want every realtor in the world to know that they're selling their property, right? John?
Sorry, but I'm kind of taking this off a little bit because I want to understand. If that's checked, would the seller then be allowed to advertise buyer's agent compensation?
Sure.
Because it's not on the MLS.
Yes.
Right? That would be right. That's
Yes.
what I was looking for.
Yep. Yep. Yeah. Just not in the MLS. Yeah, a seller can still pay. So if I know, right, if I took a listing like that, what would be my first strategy? What would be my first strategy? I took a listing that is only mine and they don't want it on the MLS. What would be my number one first strategy when I got back to my office? What would I do? I would pick up my phone and I would call every top producing agent that I know, and I would say, hey, I have a listing on Monte Vista. It's 4-bedroom, 3 baths with a pool. Got a 180-degree view of the valley for $580. Do you have any buyers? Right? That's the number one strategy that I would implement. Yes, Dave.
I'm a little confused though, because that first sentence says the MLSs that we utilize don't have a clear cooperation policy, don't they?
It doesn't say that. It doesn't say that. What it says is that the policy does not apply. So the seller is opting out, which is their right to do so. Yeah, and we're going to coach them not to do that. Right? It doesn't apply. We do have a policy. It doesn't apply to the seller because they don't want to play. Right? Are you clear on that, Dave?
Oh, I see what you're getting at.
Yeah, there is a clause. Yeah, it doesn't apply. It does not apply because they're saying, not for me. They don't want it. They're opting out. Still their right. They still own the property for now in the state of California. All right. Huh?
I thought my understanding was clear cooperation had to do about when we were able to start marketing.
No.
Okay. So
No.
good deal.
Yeah. What is the residential listing agreement? We talked about this yesterday. What is the residential listing agreement? Say it loud and proud, Dimry. It's an employment agreement. It's an employment contract. It's an employment agreement. It is not an agreement. Now, inside of that agreement, it does give you permission to market the property. It is not a marketing agreement. They are two different things. It's an employment agreement, right? So I sign an employment agreement. They're hiring me to do a job today. We're going to put it on the MLS and begin marketing it next month because we've got some things to do. Okay, but I'm still employed today, right? So it has nothing to do with that. Now, am I going to cooperate with other brokers through the MLS? Well, if that box is checked, then no, I'm not. It's up to me to go get the job done on my own.
Do we ask the seller if they want to and explain the benefits and the pros, or do they?
I would
or you
brief.
have it in mind?
I would not spend more than, like, we've spent too much time on it already. I wouldn't spend this much time on this piece because this is not good for anybody. This is going to be a rare case. So I would blow right past it. I mean, it shouldn't be gone because it's an option that obviously some take. But to us, you need to understand what it is in case somebody asks for it, and you need to be able to do it. And yet, we're not going to be doing that. That's not what we're going to do. Right? Can we all agree that it's, yeah, okay. All right, cool. Yes.
I have a question from yesterday. So you were stating where it says your property will be marketed in XMLS, and you said, hey, well, Cavar's not the MLS.
Correct.
So what did we put there?
Flex. Flex MLS or CRMLS or Southern Sierra MLS for Ridgecrest and Kernville. I forgot the name of TAR. What's their name? Tehachapi, right, but what's their MLS? Rapatoni for Tehachapi. So that's what you're gonna use. Bakersfield is Rapatoni. Whatever their MLS is what you're gonna put in the MLS. Right? Because the association, okay, let's do greater. So GAVAR is what? Greater Antelope Valley Association of Realtors. Where in there do you hear MLS? Right? You don't, because they're an association of realtors. They govern the MLS, but they are not the MLS. Flex is the MLS that it will actually be marketed in. Right? So it's not correct to say GAVAR, TAR, RAR, SRAR. All the R's.
Even if you, like there's some outdoors REO, some of the REO companies, they say, well, the property marketed, and they have their own list. But it will say Antelope Valley Association of Realtors.
Okay. Yeah, semantics. It really, like, okay, is the contract not valid because you put GAVAR? No, it's still valid, right? I just want you, I said this from the beginning, KWAV is going to be the most educated, well-trained agents in the field.
Woo! Yay!
That should get something, right? Dave, or who had their hand up? Dave?
So what is the policy about, that once I start marketing the property, it's got a certain amount of time that I gotta get into the listing?
So that's an MLS rule. So that's going to depend on what area, what MLS you're putting the listing in, right? Ridgecrest, you've got 24 hours. In GAVAR, I think you have 72 hours, don't you? 48 hours in GAVAR, right? So that's going to depend on the MLS that you're in. Yeah. Yeah. And Ridgecrest, by the way, used to be, you didn't know what to do first. Put the sign in the ground and put it on the MLS because you got nailed. Like, they give you like 3 minutes to do it, right? You got to. But now we changed it to 24 minutes, right? Gestapos in Ridgecrest. Gestapos. Okay. Item 4C2. Seller elects to opt out of certain internet features. What does that mean? Don't put it on Zillow. Don't put it on Zillow. Don't put it on Zillow. By the way, I think about 12 years ago, we all should have been checking that box. Where would we be today? So we wouldn't be buying our own leads back today. Amen, right? So you have a discussion with your seller. They're probably going to want it to be on Zillow. But you know what? One seller at a time, we might be able to get it back. No, we're not going to. We've lost it. Okay. Now you're going to go down to 5B2. Seller authorizations. So here's what's interesting. Everybody's been asking about where do I put it in the agreement that my seller is willing to pay buyer broker compensation? Do you notice that in the residential listing agreement, it does not exist? There's nowhere for you to put in the residential listing agreement buyer broker compensation. That, ladies and gentlemen, cars is on purpose. Because it's not up to the listing broker anymore to negotiate the compensation for the buyer broker.
And it's not a compensation.
And it's not. So it's a concession. It's a concession. So on 5B2, this is where you would check the box, and that would give you the written form authorization to market on behalf of your seller that they're willing to accept concessions. And one of those concessions could be a buyer broker fee. You cannot, no. Now, on your own website and on your own landing page, you may. You may put the amount, you may put the percentage, all of that. You may do that. But you cannot do that anywhere in the MLS. That is the crux of the entire case.
So if we put it on our landing page, that's because we already discussed with the seller.
And you've checked this box.
So we can discuss.
Giving you
with the
permission.
seller, how much they're willing to pay.
Yeah. No, and not only can you discuss it with your seller, you should be explain. Whenever we hit a market, whenever we came out of the 2020, 2021, whatever that is called, the roller coaster that went up, whenever we kind of came out of that, did we see things shift into buyers asking for closing costs to be paid again? We kind of never left it, but some markets did. And then we got back into it. When you were on your listing appointments, did you caution your seller? Did you say, now, here's kind of what we're seeing in the market today? We're seeing full price offers with the buyer asking for the closing costs to be paid. You were coaching your clients so that way, when the offer came in, they didn't bite your head off. Right? You do that once and you learn your lesson. I'm never doing that again, right? You coach them in advance so that they're ready and prepared for the offer. We would be doing the same thing. The conversation Blanca asked me to go through it would look something like this. So Carol, in today's market, this is kind of what we can expect to see. We're listed at $590,000, and I would expect for an offer to come in and within the next 30 days, because we are priced in that you had 3 options to choose, whether you price it in the 30-day sale window, the 60-day sale window, or the 90-day, and you chose the 30-day window. So I do expect that we'll get an offer in the next 30 days, and I expect it to be real close to $590,000, and they're probably going to be asking for some concessions. Now, those concessions could include some closing costs, which might include their own broker. So I just want you to, their own broker. So I want to make that known. Be ready, because that is likely to come across our desk, and I don't want you to be alarmed when you see those concession numbers. It is fully negotiable, and we can negotiate with them at that time. But that's that's probably what we can expect. Brendan.
For our landing page, are we allowed to leave that in the MLS?
So I have been told by the California Association of Realtors legal team that is perfectly okay. I am also being told by someone else in an MLS that they're not allowing it. So that would be an MLS only situation. But as far as the state is concerned, as far as the settlement is concerned, there's nothing wrong with you putting a link in the agent remarks saying, see more information, click here. Yeah. For more information on this property, click here.
You can't put a link. I've tried.
You've tried, they won't let you.
No. Physically, you can't.
Physically, you cannot.
Yeah, you can type it in, but it won't go anywhere.
You have to copy and paste.
It doesn't hyperlink.
No, copy and paste.
That's correct.
You copy and paste it. Okay, you can't. Okay, fine.
More information, copy and paste.
John.
When you get that offer and they're asking for concessions, is it appropriate to call the buyer's agent and ask for a copy of their?
Thank you for that question. Absolutely 100%. So John's question was, when you receive, as a listing agent, when you receive an offer, is it appropriate to call the buyer broker and say, can you please send me a copy of the BRBC? Yes, that is appropriate. In fact, you should do that.
Can we put it on the MLS, on the agent remarks?
And
Then after when we are,
you could do that, sure. And now I want you to all pay attention. The only page that is required is page 1. You do not have to send page 2. You do not have to send page 2. You only have to send page 1. You do not have to send page.
and the reason?
Why is that important?
I have a question on Zoom.
I'll show you why that's important.
I have a question, Drew.
Sure.
I've seen recently in the remarks that the listing agent for showing wants us to provide the buyer broker.
Yeah, I've been seeing that as well. In order to show the property, you need to present the BRBC. There is nothing in the settlement. There is no MLS rule. There's no law. There's no policy, unless it's an office policy, that you have to show a BRBC in order to show a property. You, as a buyer broker, you can show properties that are listed in the MLS because that's the clear cooperation, and you do not necessarily. Now, if they ask you for it, you probably ought to show it because you don't want to ruffle feathers, right?
Right.
Here's the thing, guys. We got to remember that whatever we're talking about here today is probably going to change by next week. Right? I bet you that we're probably going to have version, this says 724. I'm surprised we don't have an 815, right? Like, well, that's tomorrow, so maybe not, but 813, right? So in September, we're probably going to have new. In October, like, we're all figuring it out. So agents across the nation are all figuring this out, and not everyone is showing up to classes held by their broker.
Should we make it a habit of just saying, when we say we want to show a house, like when we send our card, should we just make it a habit of sending the RBC just so we're in that habit?
I mean,
Are going to possibly change again?
that's up to you. I personally wouldn't, because I just wouldn't want to be disclosing to the listing agent anything that I don't have to. So I would just, that's business between me and my client. Okay, then show me your listing agreement. That's probably actually what I would say. You want to see my BRBC? I want to see your RLA. You want to see how much I'm getting paid? I want to see how much you're getting paid. Right? And then they're probably going to go, oh, I guess that makes sense. Right? You don't have to have that. The fact that it's in the MLS says you have a listing agreement. I'm going to trust that. And the fact that I'm showing you property means I have a BRBC. And if I don't, I'm the one that's subject to get in trouble and not you as the listing broker. So you're not required to do that. Now, again, what are you going to do if they're demanding it? You're going to have to play diplomat a little bit, right? Because you don't want to disenfranchise that relationship, because you're going to cooperate, clear cooperation. Now, why would we only want to send page 1? Well, look at page 1 real quick, Scott, and then I'll come to you. Page 1 is going to talk about the period of time, which is maximized at 90 days. It's also going to talk about the area in which you're going to service the client. And it's also going to talk about the amount of money, right, that you're receiving under E1. But look why you probably don't want to share page 2. On page 2 at the very top, it talks about other, which could be an addendum. And that addendum could read something like, I agree to work for you and go and get the compensation from the seller. Or I agree to work for you and you've got 3 options. You can finance it by raising the price or something, right? We could work something else out with the buyer on an addendum that's none of their business. Does that make sense?
Regarding where it says area or location, what would the W, because here, on the other by Lancaster, we put LA County. And
You could put LA County, right? So here's where you would want to get specific. Let's say that I have a client that wants to buy something in Glendale, but my business is in the Antelope Valley, and I don't want to spend an hour and 15 minutes on the freeway. So instead, I would rather them work with John Johnson at KW Glendale, right? And so KW Glendale is going to have them sign a BRBC with them for that area. and I'm going to have a BRBC for the Antelope Valley. So in that case, I wouldn't say LA County because that would encompass Glendale. In that case, I would say Antelope Valley, right? I might even put the zip codes, or I might put all of the cities that encompass the Antelope Valley, right? Like, so that would be why you wouldn't want to. Otherwise, if they're your client and you're willing to service them in the entire county of LA, then you could just put LA County, right? And then you might, depending on the conversation you have in the buyer consultation, they might actually say, we might consider Rosamond, in which case you'd want to include Kern County.
The more you include, the better.
Yeah, right, to save it, because it is, by the way, CAR did say, if the location is not in here, you're not representing them for that location. So if they bought in Rosamond, this agreement is not valid.
I can always renegotiate with them, right?
You could always change it, do a modification of terms.
They want to do in Glendale and you don't want to do Glendale, you can
Yeah,
always-
yeah,
What form do you use to modify it?
yeah. I'm sorry?
What form do you use to modify it?
Modification of terms.
Oh, the MT.
Modification of terms. Because all you're doing is modifying the agreement. Dave.
If I have a buyer, a new buyer that I'm working with, and I get it that the listing isn't required, it shouldn't necessarily require that agreement to show the house, but do I have to have the agreement in hand before I go show that buyer a house? Is a buyer broker agreement required before I start showing?
No and
That's kind
yes.
of what I saw.
Yeah, yes and no. So here's what is required. There is a document, there is a disclosure that says, basically, I'm showing you this house only and it's at your own risk. I'm not your agent. There's no fiduciary. You can't hold me to anything. I'm not representing you. I'm simply showing you the property. Bless you. John.
Why would you want to show someone?
You wouldn't.
You wouldn't. You don't have
You wouldn't.
an employment.
That's why the document is not in your packet and why we're not because we're not going there. We're going to trade. Okay, so you guys, we have all, me, by the way, me included, for how many years did I sell real estate with no buyer representation agreement? For many years, I just coached my people, and sometimes I lost them because I didn't have anything in writing, whatever. Okay, so I'm guilty as well. We have a new fresh start. Are you with me?
Yes.
We have a fresh start, and we have a really good excuse. It's mandated by the federal, not state.
Federal.
It's mandated.
It's a new law.
It's in the settlement, right? We cannot enter in this relationship without an agency agreement, and that is the BRBC. So use that. Don't be scared of that and take the way out where it's like, okay, I'll be afraid of my customer and I'll sign this disclosure and then I'll see them in Maxie's car next week and then get all flustered, right? Don't.
So what's crazy is that the new agents, because they're
Yes.
new, have accepted this much better than the agents.
Yes.
that have
Yes.
been agents. And the reason is because your mind limits you. This is a time where you're actually are able to get 3%.
Yes.
It is the time where you actually, there's no more 2s and 2.5. You can actually get the full 3%. So, but here's the thing, those who have been agents will get themselves all wrapped up in their head thinking that that is not the case. You're right, because you're not worth that. Unless you think what? That you're worth that. Whatever you believe.
Actually,
Yes.
this market, it gives you more benefit.
Yes.
It's more beneficial.
So you guys remember probably a couple weeks ago, I talked to you, I came in here right before a contracts class, and right before that contracts class, I was on a broker forum. And I remember I shared with you, they were scared. The brokers, owners of offices were scared. And they were looking, Drew, but what are you going to do? You have the biggest office. What are you going to do? Right? And it's like, guys, business as usual. We're going to pivot. We're going to teach our people. We're going to keep going. And by the way, we're talking about a 40-year veteran who is number 2 in the MLS saying to me, but what if the buyers don't want to sign the BRBC? How about we have a conversation about joining KW and we'll teach you? Right? So this is your opportunity to gain market share when others are succumbing to their circumstances and they're putting their tail between their legs and they're being victims and blaming the market and they're blaming the settlement. It's our time to rise up and take the market share. Yes! Yes! Woo! By the way, we have both Silvas in the house. Woo! All right, so, Steve.
Yes, so basically you have a buyer's broker agreement and you're not available on a date that they want to show property.
Uh-huh.
But yeah, you're contracted with them. How do you handle that?
Okay, so how would I handle that if I, before? How would I handle that in 1 year ago? What would I, right? I'm gonna have a what in the very beginning of the relationship? What am I gonna have? I'm going to have an expectations conversation. I'm going to have a buyer consultation where I explain this is what it should look like. And what would you expect? When you reach out to me, Carlos, wanting to see a property that you saw on the KW.com site, because I know you don't use Zillow, I know you use the MyKW site. When you see a property there and you reach out to me, when would you expect me to reach back and be able to perform? And then Carlos is going to say 5 minutes, 7 minutes, right? And then, which is not usually what they say. They say by the end of the day is usually what they say. And then I'm going to say, okay, Carlos, 5 to 7 minutes. Okay, so let's say, Carlos, that I'm with you and I'm showing you a property and I get a text message from another buyer client that wants to see a property. Should I tell you, Carlos, hang on, Carlos, I can't talk to you right now because I've only got 5 minutes to respond to Becky? You wouldn't expect me to do that, right? And so Carlos, here's what you can expect. 3 hours, 4 hours, whatever it is, you guys set for your own business, right? For 24 years, I have worked 4 Sundays. And I know, by the way, I can tell you which 4 and who I met with, because it was that significant to me. Steve and Julie Marr drove up from Pismo Beach. I have sold them property for 18 years. I can't even tell you how many properties. I made an exception for Steve and Julie Marr. Okay? Mike McGee, who owned A&L Tire, the only day of the week, he flew in. By the way, he's a pilot. He flies his own plane. He flies in on Saturday. I show him and write an offer on an investment property on Sunday. Right? I could tell you all 4 of those because I didn't do it. Now, what did I do? I sat down and I had an expectations conversation. I said, Sunday is reserved for God and my family. If it's an emergency, and nobody ever called me on Sunday. In fact, I left my phone on the nightstand, right? So that's all you got to do, Steve, right? It's the same thing as a year ago. Now that we're in contract, it makes no difference. I'm going to have the conversation. I'm going to set that expectation. Nothing has changed. Except for we get to get better. We have the opportunity to be more professional and take over the market.
Yes.
Yes.
One more time, yes.
Yes. All right, lunch is served. Contracts class, 1 o'clock Wednesday with me and Marvin. Lunch is served. Thanks, everybody. Oh, sorry, Michelle. I didn't hear that you needed the question. I tried to the best I could. Sorry about that. Bye, everybody in Zoom land. You are welcome, Ray. You are welcome.